Errol Spence Jr. versus Jaron Ennis. Who do y'all think would win if they were to fight, let's say this year? Let's say somehow the boxing gods won't grant us Spence versus Crawford in the second half of this year, 2022. And instead, they gave us this fight, Spence versus Boots, who, by the way, is the mandatory challenger for Errol Spence. If you guys don't know, the last fight of Boots Ennis against Clayton was a mandatory fight, mandatory title eliminator fight. And Jaron Boots Ennis won that fight, and now he's the mandatory challenger for Spence. If we look at the welterweight division, Spence is arguably the number one right now after beating your Dennis Ugas, holding all three belts, WBA, WBC, and IBF. Boots Ennis is now the number one contender for that IBF belt. I don't know why, for some reason the IBF can be weird. They have like vacant spots for number one and two. But anyway, Ennis is the number one contender, and a fight between him and Spence is actually a pretty damn good fight if you ask me, and I'd love to see it. But first things first, right now I think we all can agree that we all want to see Spence fight Crawford. But let's say, like I said earlier, somehow Spence ends up fighting Boots in the end of the year or the second half of this year, 2022. By the way, because I'm sure by now a lot of people still don't know who Boots Ennis is. He's a 24-year-old, yes, 24 years old, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. Still young, undefeated, 29-0, 27 wins coming by way of knockout or TKO. He is the future of the welterweight division, in my opinion. And I've always said it before, and I'll say it again. Boots is a future pound-for-pound fighter. Definitely has what it takes to be pound-for-pound number one. And honestly, against Errol Spence, even though I think Spence right now is the top of his game, even after the accident, even after the surgery with the eye, after his performance against Ugas, he's still, he's one of the best fighters out there in the world today. Top 10 pound for pound, no doubt. Arguably top 5. And I just think Ennis might be too much for him, honestly. I think the speed, power of Boots, and plus he's talented, he's a very good boxer as well, so it's a fight between two highly skilled fighters. I think Boots will be too much for him, and I think Spence should avoid Boots if he wants to remain undefeated. I'll say this, I think Spence chances of beating Boots is lower than beating Crawford. I'm gonna be honest, and I think Crawford beats Spence. That's just how highly I think about Boots Ennis. I really do think he is the future, and he has what it takes to be a world champion today. I think the only one that can give him a problem right now at 147 pounds is Terence Crawford, honestly. With Terence Crawford's lengthy physique and long arms, I think that's probably the only one that can match him at the moment. Spence is a very good boxer. Don't get me wrong. I really do think he's one of the best today, but I think Boots is just all wrong for him. But yeah, we'll see. We'll never know until they do fight. But I think Boots would stop Spence probably, or win by decision. I won't be surprised if it ends up being close, but I think Boots is gonna be a little bit too much, honestly. Again, we will never know until both fighters get in the ring and fight each other. I don't think this fight will ever happen, to be honest. I think Spence, after the Crawford fight, I think he'll most likely move up to 154 pounds. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who do y'all think would win? Thanks for listening and watching. And like always, have a great day. Alright, thanks.